603 days since Israel's war on Hamas began in Gaza. The war has seen only 65 days of scattered ceasefires. So far, 148 hostages of the 251 captured by Hamas on October 7th have returned alive. 44 others couldn't see that day. While the fate of 59 others hangs in the balance. It all started at 6:30 a.m. on October 7th, 2023, when Hamas fired over 4,300 rockets and sent over 2,700 terrorists into southern Israel, attacking over 20 communities, slaughtering more than 1,200 Israelis, including 300 soldiers, in what is believed to be one of the deadliest days in Israel's history since 1948.
From day one, or the early days of the war, we decided on a policy. We are going after Hamas. We're not going after the civilian population.
More than 12 attempts have been made in the last 2 years to broker a ceasefire, while the first one in November of 2023 yielded in the release of 105 hostages. Since December of 2023, the proposals have seen limited progress. Throughout the first half of 2024 up until May, a three-phase truce was proposed. However, sometimes it was the Israelis who backed out or the Hamas that refused to comply. However, since December of 2024, the peace proposals took a different turn.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier.
And in January 2025, there was a breakthrough. In January 2025, after 467 days of captivity, a US-backed deal brokered in Doha brought hope. More than 33 hostages were freed in exchange of Palestinian prisoners, an increased aid, and a partial withdrawal, with more than 2 stages slated to facilitate more releases and end to Israeli operation. However, it all came undone in March of 2025.
Hamas is responsible for this war. It invaded our towns, murdered our people, raped our women, and kidnapped our loved ones. Hamas refused offer after offer to release our hostages. In the past 2 weeks, Israel did not initiate any military action in the hope that Hamas would change course. Well, that didn't happen. While Israel accepted the offer of President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, Hamas flatly refused to do so. And this is why I authorized yesterday the renewal of military action against Hamas.
The progress fell apart in March, despite US's best efforts to secure Trump's unifier-in-chief aspirations, and his close aide Steve Witkoff set to achieve this glory for the commander-in-chief.
We have Mr. Witkoff is here, is doing a phenomenal job, is dealing with them very strongly right now. They seem to want to do something, but until the document is signed, I can't tell you.
US's ambitions for Gaza are bizarre, to say the least.
We're committed to owning it, taking it, and making sure that Hamas doesn't move back.
The US is attempting to make the ceasefire more about themselves and less about Israel or Palestine.
But this feels like I'm doing something bigger than myself, on behalf of something that has nothing to do with you, with me. This is not, your children are not my children, but now I've made them my children.
Meanwhile, all the international community could do was condemn Israel a little more.
Mr. Speaker, over the weekend we coordinated a response with our allies, as set out in my statement with President Macron and Prime Minister Carney last night. We repeat our demand for a ceasefire as the only way to free the hostages.
However, no one has been able to prevail on Benjamin Netanyahu.
I say to President Macron, Prime Minister Carney, and Prime Minister Starmer, when mass murderers, rapists, baby killers, and kidnappers thank you, you're on the wrong side of justice. You're on the wrong side of humanity. And you're on the wrong side of history.
The Israeli people are losing their patience. Families of hostages are eagerly waiting for their return.
I put a lot of my hopes in the fact that ceasefire is in negotiation again, that the option of hostages coming back home is approaching, but I am worried that not all of the hostages are in this deal, and I hope that with the help of the American government we can ensure a full return of all of the hostages back home. I don't really know how long it will take. If you ask me what my heart desire, then I wish for them to come back home almost 600 days ago. I just want my cousin to come back home, and I want all of the other hostages to be here as fast as possible.
All eyes are on the United States and whether they can make a breakthrough. And the prayers of protesters are slowly being answered. Just 3 days ago, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that a new ceasefire deal proposed by the United States has been accepted by his government. The ball was now in Hamas's court. And while all eyes were on Rafah and Gaza to seek Hamas's response, the terror outfit has in principle accepted the deal, but with some conditions. Conditions that seem untenable from the US and Israeli position. The last 48 hours have been extremely tense. While the US has firmly rejected Hamas's conditions, the fate of another ceasefire deal now hangs in the balance. Has Hamas made a mistake by not accepting the 60-day truce? Will this give Netanyahu more legitimacy to escalate his operation? Will the United States succeed in its effort to find mediation and a permanent solution? The answer to all these questions is something that we look forward to this week.
Very fulfilling the mission.
And we're going to complete it. We're not going anywhere.